Good morning for everyone in the West Coast where I am. And welcome to the lesson 7. And I'm Janice Shan, and I'm the meeting co-host who will be helping Monday and everyone in today's section. May we invite Monday to start the teaching, please. Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
Good morning, everybody, and for the West Coast and the other place, have a good time. Let's start our lesson for Abhidhamma, lesson 7, 10, Unwholesome Causes of Action. Before we start our lesson, let's homage to the Buddha and reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. As a part of Abhidhamma study, last week we have done our study about the unwholesome consciousness as lesson 6. Today, for this week, we are going to study about the 10 unwholesome causes of action. When unwholesome consciousness arises in the mind, the beings with unwholesome consciousness make anything, speak anything, or think anything. That is the cause how he or she behave physically, verbally, and mentally. These 3 actions are called or divided into action. So today we are going to study 10 unwholesome causes of action as mentioned in the Abhidhamma Sangha. Actually, these 10 unwholesome causes of actions are explained in chapter 5, Vitimutta Sangha. But I would like to teach earlier than that session 5, chapter 5, because this is related to the unwholesome consciousness. So we just finished unwholesome consciousness. Now we're going to continue unwholesome causes. But for the examination, the exam will focus on for the level 1. The question will be focused on only the first 3 chapters, Citta, Cittasika, and Pakinaka. But this lesson is for more understanding about the unwholesome consciousness, how they arise in the mind, and what are the action of unwholesome consciousness. So related to the action, there are 3 types of action. So 3-fold action. We can say 3 karma, 3 way of karma. So this is the word. When you hear the word karma, it is very profound case, not easy to understand. But the easiest translation for karma is action. But we usually understand karma with action and result, the mixture of action and result. So mostly we say that I'm lucky or I'm unlucky. At the moment, we consider we have a good karma and we have a bad karma. But in this situation, usually it is understood bad karma means bad result. So I encounter with unexpected situation or unpleasant situation, At that time, we say the unlucky and bad karma. And when we encounter a good situation and pleasurable feeling, at that moment, we consider I'm lucky and I have a good karma. But in this case, in this study, we will focus the translation as action. Karma is translated as action. So it is to be performed. Then related to the karma, the classification just now we are going to study is depends on the door. So door is called in Pali dwara. Dwara is door, but it is not the real door. It is the media through which karma is performed. It means how you make your action. So you will see clearly after enumeration. The first one is bodily action, kaya karma in Pali. So in Myanmar tradition, it is very popular. And when we pay homage to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, at first we apologize regarding the mistake we have done on 3 ways of kaya karma, vachi karma, and mano karma. So this is very common to our people. So the first one, bodily action. In the other way, it is considered as the door of the body, kaya dwara. What does mean the door of kaya karma is bodily intimation. Bodily intimation in Pali, kaya vinyati. That is a kind of material phenomena by which a person expresses. It means the person can express his bodily intimation. It means it can be simply understood as the movement of the body. So we let other people know our intention through our bodily movement. That is why bodily movement is bodily intimation. That is called kaya vinyati. And in the other way, that kind of movement is the door or the media. The action is done. Action, and through that action is done. That's why the action related to the bodily door of bodily movement is called kaya karma. It means you do everything, every action by physical movement. That is called kaya karma. This is the first type of action, or first type of karma. So at the moment when you are making your movement to show your intention, to express your wish or your intention to the other, at that time, inside your process of mentality, the volition and the other mental factors are arising. Due to that volition and the mental activities, your bodies make a movement to show something that is meaningful or intentional movement, can be called bodily intimation, kaya vinyati. In other words, kaya dwara. Secondly, bhava action, vachi karma, as translation, the door of speech, vachi dwara. It is also a kind of materiality, vocal intimation. Sorry, this should be vachi vinyati. So like the vachi dwara, in this case here, vocal intimation means vachi vinyati. It should be there. It is also a type of mind-originated material. So the two of the vinyati, the first kaya vinyati and second vachi vinyati, are materiality produced by the mind. So making a voice due to the mind. That is called Vachi Vinyati, Vachi Dwara. And the action of speaking is called Vachikama, verbal action. Two of the Vinyati, Kaya Vinyati, first one, and Vachi Vinyati, second one, both are produced by the mind. That is why these Vinyati can be happen only in living beings process. It means you may see the movement of the tree when the wind comes, and you see the leaves are moving around. But although it is the movement of the materiality, material phenomena, it is not included as Kaya Vinyati. It is not considered as Kaya Vinyati because the movement is not produced by the mind. So in this case, two types of vinyati, Kaya Vinyati, bodily intimation, and Vachi Vinyati, vocal intimation, are the materialities of mind-originated materiality. Those are called, in other ways, the Kaya Kamma and Vachi Kamma. Then the third type of action is mental action, Manokamma. Is called the Manodwara. Manodwaras run only in the mind. So Manasme Yiwa, the Abhidhamma Sangha expressed by the word Manasme Yiwa. It means not related to the bodily intimation or vocal intimation. So without reaching intentional expression through body or speech, just arising in the mind, only in the mind. That is called mental action. So now we get a threefold action: Kaya Kamma, Vachi Kamma, and also Mano Kamma. So through intimation, as I said, the movement, easily understood as movements, is with intentional expression through body and speech. I mean, you just move without intention. It is just movement. You move with intention to express something, your intention. That is called the intimation. So vinyati. We will talk about the intimation or vinyati in the chapter 6, because these two are material phenomena. They will be explained in the chapter 6 of Abhidhamma Sangha. Okay, so about the 10 causes of action, akusala kamapata. So here the list: Pannadhikalankara, killing; adinadhana, stealing; and kamesumichachara, sexual misconduct. But in this case, in number 3, kamesumichachara has the largest area of expression. But here, the translation is the direct translation to the main focus. Then the fourth one, musawara, false speech; pisuna wacha, slandering; prusa wacha, harsh speech; sampapalapa wacha, frivolous talk. Then 8, abhijja, covetousness; vyabhada, evil; michaditi, wrong view. So these 10 are called akusala kamapata. So akusala, as we have known, in the meaning of akusala, it is guilty and bring unpleasurable results. That is why they are called akusala. As a classification, here 3 groups. The first group, Pannadhikalankara, killing; adinadhana, stealing; and kamesumichachara, sexual misconduct. These are considered as bodily action, as they generally occur through the door of the body. It means they are done by physical body. It means here the word generally. So we will discuss more about that. Why the word generally is included later. But now we will continue the classification according to the bodily action, and then second one as the barbaric action is called the barbaric vachikama. Then the last group, abhijja, prabhada, and michaditi, are only mental action, manokama. Okay, so in this case, the first group of karma, the first group occurs through the body, through the body, physical body. That's called that's why they are called the bodily action. You can see the killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. Okay, killing and stealing can be done through the talking, through the speech. You can order, you can command other people to kill the other person, to kill anyone. At that moment, you just speak. I mean, you are not making any other movement instead other than speaking. At that time, you may consider a killing is done by speech, by verbal action. It should be vachikama. But the killing, the bodily action of killing generally and mostly happen through the bodily action. That is why, although in some case it can be done by mental, by speech or by command, sometimes you can write a mail to make the killing or stealing. But stealing also the same. You can ask someone to steal. You can speak something to steal like this. So in that case, it seems the verbal action or vachikama, but in the classification of the karma, it is included under the classification of bodily action or bodily action, kaya karma. So the killing and stealing can be done, sometimes can be done by speech or by command, by writing, and by mailing, but they are considered as the kaya karma. The reason is because the action of killing and stealing usually happen through the door of the body, kaya dwara. Okay, in the same way, the second group of false speech, slandering, harsh speech, frivolous talk. These four actions are regarded as the barbaric action vachikama, as they generally occur through the door of speech. So door of speech, vachidwara. But in this case also, the false speech, you can give the wrong information to other without speaking, just moving your body, just showing any signs. You are giving the wrong message. That is called musawara. But it is done by the body, not talking anything. In that case, also, that musawara false speech is considered as barbaric action, because these generally happen through the door of speech. So in the Abhidhamma Sangaha, the classification is done in that way. Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi also explained that in page number 206. Then the third group, abhijja, covetousness, and vyabhada, evil and wrong view. They are not related to any action, any dwara, any intimation It means that any vinyati only happen only in the mind. That's why that is called mental action. So here, abhijja is the greed, types of greed. So abhijja is greed, and vyabhada, evil, is hatred. So micchaditi, wrong view, is the mental factor of greed. When it arises, ordinary greed, just ordinary greed, we attach to something. We attach our property, our own property, and we attach something else beautiful, others. At the moment, it is considered as ordinary greed. But when it becomes stronger on others' property, so when we see some others' property beautiful and we like, we wish to make them as our own. It means we wish to possess others' property. At that time, the level of the greed is promoted to the covetousness. So abhijja, it becomes abhijja. It becomes strong. So that is called the abhijja, the greed and strong greed to the other's property, wishing to make our own. That is called abhijja. And the ninth, vyabhada, evil. And the first day is hatred or anger. Just arise in our mind in daily life, we get angry, and hatred arises in our mind. At that moment, it is just ordinary hatred. But when it is developed to the next level, and with the intention for others suffering, so may he be in danger, thinking about the others, may he be in danger, or may he be in trouble, in intense trouble. At that moment, it is called the abhijja, wishing to kill or wishing to make others painful feeling. That is the level of evil, is vyabhada. Then the third one, wrong view. There are the three types of wrong view. It is considered as the causes of, here also, the causes of karma, micchaditi. So one is the nihilism, natika deity, which deny the results. There's no result for this good action or bad action. Is denying the result. It is wrong view. And the second one is inefficacy. Inefficacy view is no causes, no karma. It means this good result and bad result is arising, not action. So you don't need to do anything for your good karma or bad karma. In that way, is denying the cause. Then the last one is a causity, or in English, there is akriya deity. There's just the work of creator or someone else. So this is denying cause and effect. If someone hold that view, these types of view, three types of wrong view, that is considered as the unwholesome causes of action, akusala karma bhata. So in this case, we can understand some action are just karma, and some action promoted to the level of karma bhata. The karma bhata is the causes of karma. So it is full potency. So full-fledged. So in order to know, we can identify the level of the karma. So here we already list 10 action into 3 groups: Kaya Kamma, Vachi Kamma, and Mano Kamma. First 2 groups and 7 action are identified with the volition. So every Kamma related to the volition. As you know, the volition is one of the mental factors which accompany with all types of consciousness. So whenever the consciousness arises, the volition accompany. That is why whenever you do something physically, verbally, or mentally, their volition arises in your mental process. So when the person is doing the first 2 groups, 7 action, there's volition, initiating an effort to accomplish the respected action. So if one wish to kill the other person, other living beings, initially the volition arises in his mental process to kill. That is the Kamma. Then he tried to make effort to kill, to perform his Kamma. That is called the Kamma, the Pannadhikalankara, killing. Although the victim is killed or not, starting from the action, making effort and volition coming together, from that moment, he makes the bodily movement or speaking, starts commanding to others, giving command to others. From that time on, the Pannadhikalankara is started. But it is not called akusala kamabata at the moment, at the beginning, during the process. When the victim is killed, at that moment, it is called the akusala kamabata. That is the full courses of action. Full courses of action. So here, the victim of when the person trying to steal other people's property, from beginning, volition and effort, the combination of the volition and effort, his body movement start, or his speaking, his giving comment, the manner of giving comment start. From that time on, the action of adhinadana start, but it is not full course of action, full courses of action. Here, the word R is missed. So full courses of action. To become a full courses of action or full-fledged action, the action must be accomplished. It means stealing action accomplished means he gets others' property for his own. At that moment, the action of stealing, adhinadana, is accomplished. It becomes the full courses of action. In this way, the others also, musawara, slandering, harsh speech, or frivolous talk. Regarding the musawara, when someone starts his speaking to give wrong message to others, at the moment he starts to talk, that musawara, the action of musawara start, but it is just an action, not full courses of action yet. But when the listener understand wrong message, listener catch up the wrong message what he is giving, what at that moment the action is done, a complete course. So full course of action become full course of action. That then other speaking also can be understood in that way. Then abhijja, vyavara, and wrong view also can be classified into two. One is just the action, and the other is full course of action. So what is the difference between action and full courses of action? In order to understand the difference, we need to talk about the two types of result. I didn't write in these slides. There are two types of results produced by the gamma. First type is producing the rebirth. So it can start the gamma, it can start the new life. It can give a new rebirth. That is one result. So the one types of gamma and one result. Just consider about the result. First one is the given rebirth. So the rebirth, it is a kind of the result of gamma. So new life. Then the others, another gamma is the result during the life. So we get the two types of result. Firstly, we get the life at the beginning of life. It is the rebirth. That is one result. And the other result is during the life we encountered good and bad. That is another result. So two types of result. One is rebirth and the other is result in life, during the life. So if it is among these 10, if the action is just gamma, not in full courses, that types of gamma can produce second result of the result during the life. The result during the life. So it is not very strong. That is why it can give the bad result in the life. But when the action becomes a full course, it has a potency to take on the rebirth generation roles. It means that it can give a new life in the awful state. So the akusala gamma, unwholesome action, produce the rebirth in awful state. It cannot give rebirth in beautiful plains. That is why when akusala gamma is done in full course of action, it has the potency to give birth in awful state. So in order to avoid being reborn in awful state, we have to avoid such kind of unwholesome gamma in full course of action. So when you get angry with anyone, wishing to kill you, even to kill you, is not good. But sometimes it can be happen in the mind. I want to kill, but trying to control, not to kill. And also, when you're trying to kill, just trying to stop before he died, or that being died. If so, you can avoid the Pannadhikalankara, the action of killing, from a full course. So in the same ways, the other action also should be avoided in full course of action. Otherwise, we cannot avoid being born in the miserable plains. So nobody wants to be reborn in the awful state. So we have to avoid this cause. So as you know, the Buddhism accepted the cause and effect relationship. If you have done the cause, the effect will come, the result will come. That's why we have to avoid unwholesome kammavata, akusala kammavata, unwholesome causes of action to avoid the woeful state, being born in the woeful state. So here, two level of karma. First one is just a karma. Second one is the karma in full causes of action, which with the potency to take on rebirth generating rules. So related to that, what are the cause inside? So performing the action of unwholesome, a killing or stealing or sexual misconduct like this. So what are the roots? They have the roots. So here, 10 unwholesome causes of action are classified according to their roots. So Pannadhikalankara, killing, Frusawaja, harsh speech, and Vyabhada, evil. 3 actions are caused in the root of hatred. So hatred is the cause of killing. Hatred is the cause of harsh speech. Then hatred is the cause of evil. And also hatred itself is evil in the stronger level. So these 3, we can understand these 3 caused by the hatred. Then another group, 3 karma, the karma sumichachara, sexual misconduct, abhijja, covetousness, and michadeti, wrong views are caused by the root of greed. So in this way, we can understand sexual misconduct is rooted by the greed. So the root is greed. And covetousness, abhijja, is the another level or the stronger level of greed. And wrong view also rooted in the greed. When you review the classification of unwholesome consciousness, you will see the wrong view, the consciousness associated with wrong view is only in the greed-rooted consciousness, lobha mula citta. So michaditi also rooted in the greed. Then the rest, adina, dana, stealing, musawara, false speech, and pisuna vaja, here pisuna vaja, the pisuna vaja, slandering, and sampapalapa, frivolous talk. These 4 are rooted in both or any of greed or hatred. So not because, the either greed or hatred, we can understand. These 4 are rooted either greed or hatred because greed and hatred cannot arise together at the same time. So sometimes the stealing rooted in the greed, sometimes stealing rooted in the hatred. It means that when one steals the other people's property at the moment, sometimes the cause is greed because he wished to get. Then sometimes he wants to make other people's harmful condition to wish to make. So losing his property to other people's property like this. That is caused by the hatred. So stealing can be caused in either of greed or hatred. In the same way, musawara, due to the greed, or sometimes it's due to the hatred, giving the wrong information. And slandering and frivolous talks. So these 4 are rooted in greed or hatred. So now we understand that the unwholesome causes are rooted in hatred and greed. What about the delusion? because there are three roots of unwholesome: greed, hatred, and delusion, as lobha, dosa, and moha. But in this case, the moha delusion is root for all. It is root for all types of unwholesome action. That is why here it is not mentioned in specific way as a specific roots, but without the root of delusion, there cannot arise unwholesome causes of action. So no unwholesome causes of action can arise without the root of delusion, the root of moha. So it is common to every unwholesome action. It is it is common roots for all types of unwholesome action. That's why it is not mentioned here. This mention only the specific one. So hatred and greed need to emphasize in different classification, but moha related to every unwholesome causes of action. That is why not mentioned. So in this case, you can understand in this way, Pannadhikalankara, the roots, hatred and delusion. In the same way, the second group, sexual misconduct, etc., are rooted in greed and delusion. And the others can be sometimes rooted in greed and delusion, sometimes rooted in hatred and delusion. Be careful. Although the root of delusion was not mentioned as specific root, but it is common root of all unwholesome action and also all unwholesome consciousness. So here emphasis is on the root. But if we understand what is the mental activities inside in the process of mentalities at the moment of performing 10 unwholesome causes of action, it is clear that unwholesome karma, so according to the classification of consciousness, they are 12-fold unwholesome consciousness. So when you are killing any living being, it is not killing through the wholesome consciousness. It is killing through the unwholesome consciousness. So what should be the specific unwholesome consciousness? We can understand hatred is root, and hatred and delusion produce the dosa mula citta, the consciousness rooted in hatred. So there are two types of consciousness rooted in hatred in the classification of unwholesome consciousness. So the killing can be done with these two types of consciousness of dosa mula consciousness. So in the same way, you can understand when you are talking harsh speech to others, at that moment, what kind of consciousness is arising in your mental process? The answer is dosa mula citta, the consciousness rooted in hatred. Then yabada evil. At the moment, in your mind, the consciousness is dosa mula citta. We can identify the consciousness through the action too, because the consciousness inside and the performance action are related to each other. So they have the relationship. So we can see anyone who is killing at that moment, we can identify the mentality arising in his mind at that moment. Is dosa mula citta. That is called the way of identifying the essence of reality, paramattha. In Myanmar, it is called the Ayaka. The Myanmar word is called the Ayaka. So identifying the reality or mentality and materiality in every events and every action or living being and also inanimate things. We can identify this is only inanimate thing. This is only the materiality like this. And when the living being do anything or perform anything or speak anything, at that moment we can identify through his action. This is the way we study in traditional approach. So, for example, when someone is killing, the passage is explained in the Pali Canon or commentary. At the moment, our teachers say what should be, what kind of reality should be is identified in this case. At that moment, we consider and the situation and the event, the intention. After that, we have to identify this is the case of what reality. Sometimes it is both mentality and materiality. Sometimes it is only mentality in that way. So if we use that method in 10 unwholesome causes, whenever we see, we hear, we can identify, roughly and identify these are unwholesome consciousness arising in the person's mind. So to identify to each action, you have to know these bases, roots. What are the root of these 10 actions? After that, you can identify. Then here, sometimes the people just developing doubt. This is only in mental action, but it cannot be considered as a causes of action. Here, it is not included, just developing, or whether this the Buddha is real Buddha or not, like this, he is developing. It is unwholesome, but it is not unwholesome cause of action. It means just giving that kind of doubt or making that kind of doubt cannot be reborn and cannot send a person to be reborn in awful state. Just doubt. But through the doubt, he performed the other action, develop his unwholesomeness of the mentality up to the other, to become the action that can give the potency, that can bring the potency to be reborn in the awful state. So this is the 10 unwholesome causes of action and produced by the unwholesome consciousness. That's why after studying the unwholesome consciousness, we need to know what are the action related to the unwholesome consciousness. So it makes more easier to remember. Only the classification is not easy to remember. So we have studied in lesson 6, we classify the unwholesome consciousness into 12 and 3 groups, rooted in greed, rooted in hatred, and rooted in only delusion, like this. But after that, we link to the action with the unwholesome consciousness. So consciousness inside, start inside, and action become. It means the sometimes it's become related to the outside, not only inside. So only Manogama developing inside. The others are the perform action of the body and action of speech. So this become outside, showing the is something movement or the expression. This can be applied in our daily life too. Whenever the unwholesome roots start to arise in our mind, we have to observe, we have to aware. This is the unwholesome mentality. Is not to be accepted. If we accept the unwholesomeness in our mind, like a hatred or greed or the others mental factors of unwholesomeness, that will cause the stronger condition of unwholesomeness. Then we will perform, we will not be able to control our physical body and speech, because the unwholesome consciousness is arising and developing into level to level. At that time, it becomes uncontrollable. We cannot control anymore. That time, we can perform that kind of unwholesome courses of action, which can be the cause of miserable life and the unpleasurable, unexpected result in our life. So, as long as we cannot eradicate the potency of the karma, the potency of karma will follow us from life to another, from life to life. So wherever you go, your karma will follow with the potency. So if we have done the unwholesome karma, we cannot avoid the unwholesome result in the samsara. So after cutting off after cutting off the defilements, and the potency just remain for that life, only one life. It cannot produce the result next life, because there's no more life. For like the arahat by the arahata mega, he eradicates all defilements and clinging. After that, the potency. So although arahat also has done in the past the full courses of action, like this, in case of Angulimala, he has done the killing, the bodily action of killing unwholesome at the very life of Angulimala. He killed many people, but he could attain final stage of enlightenment, which is called the Arahata Mega and Arahata Phala. At the moment of Arahata Mega and Arahata Phala, he eradicated all defilement and also the potency of karma to give new life. Thus, his killing already performed, but their potency also removed after later in their life. So they cannot produce any new life in miserable plane, in woeful state. So we all had done in the past many karma with the potency. It means the full courses of karma. In this very life also, maybe we had done a lot. It's unwholesome. In order to avoid this is the only way. Only way is to remove the potency by the mega and phala. Otherwise, they will follow you and also me along the samsara. Whenever we have to be reborn, they will find opportunity to give their results. when they get the opportunity, we will be reborn in the miserable state. And some are not from us the causes of action, akusala karma vata, just the action, but they also will find. They also have the potency, but not to produce the rebirth, just to give the unpleasant situation in the life. So during the life, we have experienced a lot of uncomfortable condition and unexpected situation. These are the result of the action done in the past, usually done in the past. But in this very life, in this present moment also, we can try to make the better condition. We can make effort. But the karma is done in the past. It comes, it finds the way to produce their result many times, any times, they are, how to say, the pending and waiting for the condition match with them. So unwholesome potency, unwholesome karma, they are waiting the bad condition to come into the life as a result. And the wholesome karma, they are waiting for the good condition like this. So in order to avoid the karma bad result, we never expected for that. So we have to avoid from the beginning of the karma. Then if we had done, there's nothing to worry again, just trying to hold the good condition. The good condition is not matched with the bad karma. So as long as we can hold the good condition, and the bad karma will be, how to say, will not have the opportunity to produce the result. Okay, now, and we have discussed about the 10 unwholesome causes of action with their roots. So today I'm going to stop here my teaching, and we will continue for Q&A session. Okay.
May Bhante lead us in making an aspiration and sharing the merits.
Imina bunyakamena
Imina punyankamena
mami bala samagamo
mame bala samekamo
sadam samagamo hodu
satam samagamo hotu
yawa nibbana patiyam
yavanipa napatiya
idame bunyam
idame punya
asawakaya wahan hodu
asawakaya vaha hontu
idame bunyam
idame punya
nibbana sabachayo hodu
nibanasa pachayo hontu
mama bunya bhagam
mama punyam bhagam
Sabha satanam bhajemi
sapasadanam pajemi
te sabe
te sabe
me samam
me samam
punya bhagam labandhu
punyam bhagam labantu.
sadhu
Sadhu,
sadhu
sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu. Thank you again, Bhante, and
Okay.
everyone for your time and participation. Till next time on Sunday, may you all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.